Well, yesterday was a bit rough. Definitely was, but sometimes you have to let go of yesterday. And today feels way better anyway, so that's good. Well, this is day 2 of my Let It Go challenge, and I wanted to start out today with reading something. Alright, so I believe that letting go is a journey that has to begin inside the individual who is ready to let go and move on. But one must tap into higher knowledge of knowing that they deserve better. People only put up with what they think they deserve, so you have to realize your worth. Your true worth, self-worth, not based off of what others think. Once you realize that you deserve more, you'll start making the necessary steps towards getting it. It's really a change of perception and mindset. Seeing yourself and your life differently and letting go of the fear of change. I think most of us are afraid to let go because we fear the change. We make the mistake of assuming and thinking that things are easier if we stay still and comfortable. But make yourself uncomfortable. That's how you know you're growing. Yes, it really is, guys. I really think that that's true. I think that a lot of us get comfortable with the things that we do in life, with what we eat, with who we're around, with what we're doing. And I think we make a lifestyle out of that, and it becomes this vicious cycle that we are in, and some don't even want to get out of it because it's just, so easy. And see, for me, that's the first sign. I like a bit of a challenge. I don't like all challenge like sometimes my life does to me. But I definitely like a little challenge here and there so that I'm not bored and so that I know that I'm growing. That's a sign to me that I'm growing. If I'm uncomfortable or unsure. If I'm sure of everything and I'm comfortable, I'm like, okay, who's about to punk me? Where's the catch at? Like this, things are quiet, too quiet, things like that. Like when life gets good for me, I'm always like, all right, what's about to happen? And I know that's not necessarily a good lifestyle, but that's just the way I am, I guess. Okay, so day 2, guys. Um, So today we're going to talk about what we're letting go of. That is the question. What are we letting go of? What are you personally letting go of? And I'm going to start by saying things that I have needed to let go of, which I have a list that I wrote everything down because it's that many things, but I kept it pretty short, but genuine at the same time. So the things that I personally need to let go of, and guys, you can do this too. It helps me to write things down because it's just physical. It's real. I have the words right here. See? And it helps me. I like to write, and it really does help. So I just put things I needed to let go of, and like literally bullet pointed all the things that I feel like I need to let go of. And I put the past. That's a huge one for me. And the reason why I have a hard time letting go of the past is because I really, really, really like to understand things. Sometimes things happen and you don't get that pat on the back like, well, this is why it's happening and this is all the answers. Like, you don't always get closure, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And for me, I can think of so many situations within the last 4 years of my life, whatever, the whole span of my life, I guess. I can think of things where I just kept thinking about maybe a situation, friends, a person, a situation that ended pretty rough, and I'm like, oh, do I regret that? I don't regret anything. Let me just say that much. But I do overthink a lot. And that's what I wrote for myself about why it's hard for me to let go, which is one of the things we're going to talk about today. Well, I just overthink myself into a tizzy, basically, and I try to play out every little situation that could have happened, and what could I have done if this, and what could I have done if I did this, and what would have happened if I would have did this instead of that, and should I have done that? Yeah, it drives me crazy. But over the last year, like 2016 taught me a lot, and one of the things I learned to do is to just go with the flow. I'm a Pisces. I really like flowing, light energy. I don't like confrontation or friction or negative, forceful energy. So I've just been learning to let go and flow with things and basically try to understand why something happened. Even if I hurt somebody or if I had to leave for a while or if I moved out or if, these are situations you guys might be able to relate to. Sometimes you just have to do things for yourself because you're being led to do it. And I pay attention to that inner light. I take care of my soul very well. I put my soul above everything else because I believe that my conscience and my being, what I am, like only I know what's best for that, you know. And the same for you guys. Like people try to tell you so much what you should do, and they judge you and all these things, but really, like, you're not me. So how do you really know if I'm doing the wrong thing or the right thing? You know, I don't even know. So how do you know? Unless you're the universe, then you might know. But we are the universe. So yeah, those are some things I need to let go of, and I guess I only read the first one, so let's see. The need to please others. I talked about that a little bit yesterday. I do need to let go of that, and I have like, it's hard for me to put myself first, and like, I mean, I know that's contradicting, but I manage to do these things all at the same time. Like, I care so much about my soul, but I care so much about other people's souls too. And I am such a healer and a genuine nurturer. You know, I want to help as much as I can. So sometimes that gets me caught in situations where I am taking on too much. Like, sure, I'll do that for you. Sure, I'll do that for you. And the load just keeps getting heavier and heavier. And I'm like, oh. And then I'm scared to ask somebody to handle my load. You know, like, can you take care of this a little bit for me, please? I would really need your help. Yeah, it gets pretty hard. And I wind up carrying way too much. But it's made me strong. But I would like to let go of that more and more. I'm learning about that and getting better. Caring what others think. That's a big one. Because if we could let that go, I feel like a lot of other things after that will get let go too. Because a lot of this is just caring what we look like. Or, man, if I break up with him or her, they'll hate me. You know, I'll be wrong. And then maybe we think karma's gonna get us. Because that's a big thing too, like guilt. I feel like, oh, what if this is the wrong decision? What if I shouldn't leave this job? Or, you know, I overthink so much that I'm thinking like, what if, like, basically when I have to make a decision, it's so hard for me to make decisions because I'm like, man, it's one of two ways, sometimes more than two different things you can choose from, and I'm like, what should I do? And some of that is based off of like, if I don't do that, this person might get hurt, or if I don't do that, this person's going to be stressed and they're going to have to go through this. But I've had to learn that what other people think doesn't personally affect you, and what other people do, their struggles, everybody's in different parts in life, guys. Everybody's in different areas is what I was trying to say. So some of us have kids, some of us have jobs and cars and husbands, and you know, we're just all going our own different directions and stuff. So it would be wrong for us to judge the paths of other people, or not necessarily judge, of course not judge, but it's wrong to take on that struggle. Because I kind of think about it like everybody's like a, you know, a track when you're running on it, you know, the I don't know what that's called, the track circle or whatever. It's like a tar thing, and there's usually lines for the people who are running to stay in. And when I live life, that's what I like to think of, like, because I remember, man, it reminds me of gym class back in high school. We used to go run out on the track. I would hate seeing that track. Oh my god. Anyway. Well, it's metaphorical in a sense where you're running and there's people beside you. Some are behind you, some are way ahead of you. But if you focus, I found myself focusing a lot on people who were ahead of me, and it would make me more tired. I'm like, oh, look at so and so. So and so's already ran around me twice, you know, and I'm not quite there yet. Well, the same applies in life. We can't care about what other people think of us because we're running slow, or maybe we're not quite where our lives are supposed to be, but that's for us to decide. Nobody truly knows where we're supposed to be. You know why? Because we're exactly where we are supposed to be. That's what I think. I'm supposed to be right here in front of my computer recording this right now. You're supposed to be watching or whatever you're doing. The point is, I feel like everything has a purpose. And if we weren't supposed to be alive or with this person or doing what we're doing, then the universe would correct that eventually. Or we would get a really weird energy, and you know, our intuition would tell us like, that's bad for me. So my next thing I wrote is that I need to let go of things that are out of my control. And I talked about that a little bit yesterday, but oh my god, that is such a huge one. If there's nothing you can do, why stress about it? You know? Like, it's just gonna basically eat away at your happiness and your sanity, and you're gonna not only be sad about the situation you're sad at, like let's say someone isn't texting you back. You cannot reach through that phone and make somebody care about you enough to text you back. You know, I know a lot of people are probably going through things like that, like breakups, or just, it's just this, it's the season for it, guys. I see a lot of people that I know, and of course Facebook, you know, I just know that that's the energy. I can see, and I've talked to people too about it. They'd come to me for advice about, this person is just being this way, and I'm like, been there, felt that. And what I've learned is that people are who they are. We're all trying to figure out who we are. And I try not to judge people. Like, people do what is going to make them happiest most, because maybe they're really sad. So when they tap into something that makes them happy, maybe they go for it and forget about you a little bit or move on, or and that's not okay. That's very hurtful. I'm a very emotional person, and trust me, that hurts my feelings and stuff like that when that happens to me. But you got to focus on your part in the journey, because you cannot, just like that track field, why pay attention to who's behind you and in front of you or next to you? I mean, it's cool if you guys are talking and, hey, buddy, you're running too. Yeah, we're all living life. Cool. But does not matter. The person in front of you might trip soon, you know? And then they're going to be looking at you like, wow, Braylon didn't trip, or wow, so-and-so didn't trip. They're still running and I tripped, and how embarrassing. Metaphor. So you don't want to focus on other people's journey or the things that are out of your control, because when you focus on things that aren't in your control, you give up, like, kind of by accident. You have to realize that you're giving up the control that you have over yourself, which is, I mean, we all have free will. Even the Bible says that. And I believe in that. I mean, I believe in fate. I'm a very strong believer in fate as well. Like, some things just happen because they happen. But I believe in the free will that fate allows us. I believe that free will is fate. And that's kind of a contradiction, but, I guess it's a balance. But the point is, guys, if you can't control things, why? I know you can't really, like, sometimes you can't control that you're thinking about something. Or I can't control that I can't let this go, Braylon. I can't control that that I can't get over this person. I just love him. I just love her. I just want this job. I just need money. I just need this drug. Do you really, though? Do you really need it? Or do you need something to not feel alone? Or do you need something that's a crutch? Or, I'm just saying, guys, like, it's real weird with this stuff that we have to let go of, because I think we know that it's hurting us, or we know that we're better off without it, and that's a big part of it too. But moving on, I see that the next thing is anxiety and stress. I am a very stressed out person, and I mean, I've made a lifestyle out of that. I have anxiety, and I don't think anybody would know it. Like, I could run an obstacle course. I could juggle and have a full-blown conversation with you and just have anxiety. Does it look like I have anxiety right now? I'm just kidding. I don't really have it right now, but when I go out in stores and, like, if I have something to do, I can work myself up to the point where I'm sick to my stomach. And I know everybody out there who has anxiety, maybe some of the people out there struggling with that, definitely know where I'm coming from. And anxiety and stress and depression are all related to each other in some form or another. And they're very, very serious things. But we can breathe and slow down and just feel ourselves like, okay, I'm alive. I know that situation just happened, but it's okay. You know what I mean? It's just, like I said, a change in perception. You have to literally change your mind. Like, you know what? I don't want to have anxiety. I don't want to worry about that, because I can't control that this is happening to me. It's happening way over there. That person isn't changing. La 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 la. This job isn't hiring me. So just let it go. Why have anxiety and stress over it? Then you're just making it even worse for yourself. I know it's easier said than done, but we can work on these things. We can think about them and put them into perceptions to where we understand, and basically become stronger than these things that we're overcoming, because they're pretty strong, but not as strong as us. Okay, so people, relationships from the past. That's a big one. I'm not sure if it's as big as what I'm thinking, because, I mean, people also hide things very well. But if you are somebody who's letting go of a person or a relationship from your past, or maybe this person keeps coming up, and every time you get good and every time you finally get over this person, they just come knocking back. Well, I'm just going to tell you right now that energy is a very real thing. And it's like the people who you're trying to get over, or the people who you're about to cut off, they can feel it, because we're all connected as human beings, And I promise you, I have a personal experience with this, because I'm very spiritual. And there was a point in my life where, I hate that. I'm not going through that now. I have, though, so I can relate so much. And I just don't want people to be going through that, because I am proof that you can leave a person alone for good reasons, because you love yourself, because you're better, because it's just not working out. Sometimes you have to accept that the timing is wrong, because there is, that universal timing happening. I don't believe in time. I hate time. I don't even know what time it is right now. But I do believe in the essence of time. Like, certain things can't happen until you're a certain version of yourself. So there's things waiting to happen in 2017 that knew when you were 1 year old that they would happen. They knew looking at you as a baby, like these things, like God or the universe knew everything that would happen to you. But if he were to just give it all to you then as a newborn, that wouldn't really make sense, right? Like sometimes, like there's things newborns can't handle, you know what I mean? And not even just newborns, but like I'm 21, I'm going to be 22 in March. There's things that my 22-year-old self can handle that my 21-year-old self obviously couldn't, because it didn't happen to me. Obviously, I was strong enough to lose my mom. I was strong enough to be attacked by a dog when I was little. I just believe, everybody knows the struggle. Everybody has strife and hardships and hurdles in life. Nobody has easy, not even millionaires. So that's what I focus on. I guess when it comes to getting through things, is the fact that everything happens in its own timing. Everything happens because it's supposed to be. And I just stop and pause and think, what am I learning from this? I literally do. Like, what is this trying to teach me? Because if I don't learn anything from it, it'll happen again through somebody else or through this job. It'll follow you. I feel like we're assigned negative things. Like when we're born, we get assigned these, and it's going to sound weird, but I've actually stumbled across the theory, or my belief, I guess, that negative energy is just as important as positive. I used to be a person who just didn't like negative energy at all, which nobody should. I don't like negative energy. But through the years, I've learned that without negativity, without darkness, we wouldn't know positivity and light, because one is just the absence of the other. It's like yin and yang. I've been doing a lot of studying on opposites and how they need each other. Like the light needs the dark and positivity needs the negativity, because you wouldn't know one without the other. So if you embrace both and realize that everything's happening for a reason, I think that's pretty much the secret to getting out of this, and to release that personal attachment. Like, only personally attach yourselves to things that involve you. Like, I'm not personally attached to John Doe, who keeps breaking my heart. I'm personally attached to the feeling that I'm doing something wrong. And then when you realize you're not doing anything wrong and that it's John Doe's fault, or that it's more of a thing going on with John Doe, what you're personally attached to is better for you. You kind of just solved a riddle for yourself. But you have to be careful with that personal attachment thing. Make sure you actually really are personally affected by it, like your kid or your mom or your job to a certain extent. Not some guy, not some girl, or some person that's being mean to you or something. Screw off. Okay, so yeah, it's a big one to let go of people and relationships, but you have to sometimes. And I've had to do it. I love everybody. I love everybody equally, I want to say, or just as much. Like a stranger could tap on my window right now and need $1 or like $20 or something, and I don't really have it, but I don't know, I'd do something. The point is, I care about everybody, so it is hard to give up on people, but it's not really giving up if you're doing something that's good for you, and if it's time to give up. And the last thing that I wrote, and these are just what I'm giving up, guys. This is just things that I need to let go of, which I'm learning more. After I do this video, I'll probably be like, I really need to let go of that too. I didn't write that, but it's okay. I'll just add it to the list, and it's just more about so you can see it in front of you and personally reflect on it. But the last one that I wrote is insecurities, flaws, and low self-esteem. And this is crazy, because I think we need to let this go, because this is why we hold on to things. Because we're insecure, because we can't embrace our flaws, because all we see is our flaws. I know that I'm pretty hard on myself, and I have to constantly work on remembering positive things about myself, because there's something in my head that is always working on what's wrong with me for some reason. I think a lot of humans are like that. We don't know why we're so insecure and why we beat up on ourselves so much, but we do. We're so hard on ourselves, and we have such low self-esteem, and I'm done with it. Like, I want to let that stuff go, because why? It's a beautiful year. Obviously, we're still alive. If you're listening to this video, the universe, God, still believes that the world needs you alive. You still have a purpose. You still have a chance. You still have a life. So why are we insecure when that's such a blessing? Like, wow, I woke up again today. Something saw me as necessary and as needed. Yeah, I'm flawed. Yeah, I'm a little insecure and have low self esteem sometimes, but I'm strong and I have a purpose and I have a reason. You got to look at things like that. I've been really trying to let go of the insecurities and all that. Yeah, like the flaws and stuff. Like, sure, we have them. We have flaws. There's things. We all have strengths and weaknesses, and that's what makes us different from one another. But you just embrace that, in a positive way instead of beating yourself down, because let's face it, especially with what's going on in our world, like politically and everything like that, hate is at a all-time high. And that's why I'm trying to spread the love. I see a lot of people who are just drawing and letting go of things on their own, and it's just really ironic. Like, obviously, this is just a universal energy that some of us have tapped into, and I want you to join. Okay, so yeah, those are the things that I need to let go of. We talked about this a little bit yesterday too, but why is it hard for me to let go? And I wanted to just express that maybe somebody could relate. We got to figure these things out. But I wrote, why is it hard for me to let go? Because I personally attach myself to almost everything. Because I am such a deep person, I don't like to give up. I always feel like there's more that I could do, but I'm not obligated to do so. That's what I've realized. I am such a nice person. I'm so giving, and I hate leaving people, but I realize that I've got to be nice to myself. Underline self. I can't cling to bad things just because I feel like they need me. Ooh, that's a big one. I have to come back on that. Guilt is such a huge part for me. But we shouldn't feel guilty for moving on or doing what's best for us. We need others to understand. No, we don't need others to understand. I guess sometimes I'm a little afraid to let go too, but not if it's what's best for myself. True. I mean, that is true. And, let's see, hold on just a second. Oh, yeah, that is pretty deep. I wrote this a while ago, so sometimes rereading it, I'm like, yeah, it is part of realization, and I mean, the longer we take owning up to things, the longer it's gonna, like, it's the whole denial thing. I feel like this is like a meeting, like, my name is Braylon and I am addicted to letting go, or I'm addicted to not letting go, or whatever. It's not gonna be like that weird or anything, but it is a realization, and denial is a real thing. Like, obviously, it's not only drugs that we can be in denial over. It can be a lot of things, but writing really helps. I find just writing my feelings. Even, see, the thing is, when you write and you be, then days go on, or like, I think it's been a week or so since I've written that, and then you read it as a different version of yourself. Like, maybe you're having a better day and you just didn't even really remember a lot about what you wrote, and then you read it and you're like, it's kind of a reminder, and it's yourself that reminded you because you wrote it. So I highly recommend writing, and writing what you need to let go of, writing why you can't let go of it. It just helps, because sometimes people don't listen, but if you write, how can the paper not listen to you? Okay, so that's why it's hard for me to let go, and I would love for you guys to share with me. I find that most of you, or some of you, are more comfortable with messaging me personally so that we can talk about this, and I stay up really late, and I'm always down to have a deep conversation about this, always down to. So you can definitely message me and let me know what you're letting go of and why it's hard for you too. But the secret is, guys, the secret to this whole thing, like we already have talked about, is releasing the attachment. That is the secret, honestly. If you're not attached to it, you're not holding on to it. If you're not holding on to it, you've let it go. And you don't even feel the need to look back, You can actually just look forward to change in a better version of your life and you. It's all about trusting something higher, trusting that something's got your back. Like, maybe something is showing you that you need to let this go, and that it's gonna help you along the way. But the thing is, we need this strength to let things go, but we have to create it ourselves. That's the big part, is that it doesn't just get given to us. We definitely have to work on it and want it, but it'll happen. It's kind of like a win-win. Like, if you step up to the let it go plate, the universe will step up to giving you the strength to let it go, and then you join forces, and then you're unstoppable. I promise. It's happened. It's happening with me. So yes, look forward to change. Trust in something higher, the all-knowing, and right. That is how you let it go. Well, it's something that can really help. So write about what you're letting go of, and write 5 reasons why you're better off without it. So that brings me to one of my last parts. I have that set up right here. This part, I have it numbered. Not sure if you can see it, but that is my 5 reasons. Well, I didn't write them yet. I'm going to write them right after this video because this is the exercise for today. So, yes, we're going to be writing what we let go of and 5 reasons why you're better off without it. So I'm going to do that as soon as I am done recording this. But I wanted to end today with a quote. And then tomorrow I have a lot of quotes for us that are going to help us just as we're contemplating this. You know, a lot of good quotes coming tomorrow. But today I wanted to end with saying, the energy it takes to hang on to the past is holding you back from a new life. What is it that you would let go of today? And that is, the quote is by Mary Manon Morasis. I don't know her name, but that is a very powerful quote. If you think about it that way, is what you're holding on requiring more energy than what it would to let go? I guarantee so. Because holding on, man, not letting go, it does take more energy than letting go. You'd be surprised how easy it is after you make the step. The step is hard. Stepping up to the plate, realizing, wow, I gotta let this go, or wow, I can't believe I haven't let this go yet. That's the hard part because we're human and we struggle with ego. But if we humble ourselves to our mistakes, and if we just humble ourselves to understand that everything is happening for a reason and that we are strong enough to do this, it's like we just get this burst of hope. Hope and faith. Those are very strong elements to this. So, okay, guys, I think we covered a lot today. Tomorrow will be pretty, smooth, and we got a few nice quotes that I want to share with you tomorrow. But I think that's it for today. Other than that, I hope you guys, I had a pretty bad day yesterday, so I hope your day is better. Not sure what's going on. It looks pretty gloomy out here in Michigan today, but I'm just spreading positive vibes. My shirt's pretty happy today too, even though it's no flowers out there. It's definitely winter, but I don't know, guys. Love you very much, though. Let me know what you think. Thanks for everybody watching my first video. It took forever to record. Hopefully I can get this one out sooner. But we'll see. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. But alright, guys, I will see you tomorrow.